Hello, Elliot here. So what we're going to do today is go through how I filled 3 different clinics in 3 different countries, 3 different modalities, just to prove it's not luck and it's not down to where you are or Facebook ads don't work in your location or for your clinic, because it's simply down to a system. That's all. So all I wanted to take you through today is why most clinic believe that growing the clinic is down to many different things which are out of their control, which really just isn't true. They blame things such as the location, that they think that because they're not on a high street or because they don't have the ideal setup and that people aren't passing by all the time, that therefore their clinic is not going to grow as well as someone else's. Yeah, that could be a contributing factor, but I want to show you 3 different clinics set across 3 different locations, 3 different countries, rural, inner city and stuff, to prove that that doesn't always matter. And also a lot of clinics believe that they are in a super densely populated area, being one of the busiest cities in the world for running a clinic. Therefore, it makes it way harder. But I'm going to show you one of the clinics who's in arguably one of the busiest cities in the world for clinics. Like literally there is a clinic of chiropractic, osteopathy, physiotherapy, podiatry on every corner, but yet we were still able to fill their clinic multiple times. And how a lot of people think it's just down to the time and that maybe they've just struggled since COVID. That's one thing which I hear all the time. But yet we are now 6 years on, going to be, from COVID. Things have changed. The world is back to normal. So we can't just keep saying that since COVID, because that was a long time ago. That's my son's whole life. He is only 6, or going to be 6. So we can't keep blaming the time. And finally, one which I hear all the time is that they've just not found the right agency. But if you're constantly relying on someone else to grow your clinic, you're never actually going to be able to grow it. This is why I'm not so against agencies for getting you started, but it's just the long-term growth. You should not be reliant on someone else to grow your clinic all the time. And if you're constantly trying to search for the right one is never going to come. And I want to show you how you don't need that at all and how you just need a simple system to install. And that's my whole point of this video. I just want you to walk away from this and realize this can be done, and it can be done in your area. And that's what I'm going to walk you through. So what I'm going to show you is how 3 different clinics across 3 different countries and 3 different modalities filled their books, because it wasn't down to one lucky ad, one shot. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do that 3 different times. And these are 3 of multiple that I could show you. And to show you that it's not down to the country or your location, because I've got multiple countries, multiple modalities using the same system, and how you don't need the perfect clinic to get this set up and running. I'm going to show you 3 different clinic types as well for you to see that maybe if you're a solo practitioner or even if you've got a big team, you can still follow the same system and fill your clinic. Because one simple system did fill 3 different countries, 3 different clinics in 3 different countries, and let me show you what that looks like. So first off, this is Rich. He's a chiropractor in Canada, and he was previously working with a marketing agency in which his cost per lead was north of $40, plus their agency fees, their monthly retainer, and he wouldn't even get 18 leads in a month. In his first day, he got 18 leads, and his cost per lead was $2. Wild. In his first month of using this system, he had 54 new patients in. He spent just over $1,000 in ads, but collected over $19,000. Crazy difference. There's 16x return on ad spend just in his first month doing this. Chiropractor in Canada. Then Chase, he's an osteo in Australia, in Melbourne, which is arguably one of the busiest cities in the world to be a clinic. So when Chase came on board, he just set up his own clinic. I was speaking with him and his wife, and they were like, how can this work? They just set this up. They were unsure on what could happen or what changes or what they actually needed to do. And then in his first couple of weeks, he had to turn his ads off, and then again a couple months later. So he had to turn his ads off multiple times, because every time he turns his ads on, he fills his clinic. Dream scenario for a lot of people. That's what we want. But over that period, over the first 6 months, he got 1,275% return on investment from his ads. Absolutely crazy. So now they were first worried about filling their one location, and now he's looking to have to go to a bigger space and build a team to keep up with the demand. in, like I said, one of the busiest cities in the world for running a clinic, arguably. And then we've got Paul. He's in America and he's a physical therapist. He filled both his clinics in the first month of running ads, not just one, but both of them. And from the setup that we do, the whole point is that he's going to be building local trust. And in his first month, he had people recognizing him across the town. Even after working with different agencies, even after trying multiple different things, he just followed a system and was able to fill his books within the first month. So we've got US, Australia, Canada.
I thought I'd jump in real quick. If you're finding this helpful, then all you need to do is go into the description below, click the link to join our school. In our group, you will land on this page where you can get started with a 7-day free trial. In there, once you're on the inside, then I will walk you through this whole process. You can see all of the other clinics and the results that we're getting for them in here. You can speak to them. You can see all of the videos that they're creating, all the ads that they're creating. But importantly, you can get the full step-by-step done for you, the scripts, everything just to use straight away. If you want to get started with a 7-day free trial, click the link below and I will help you out on the inside.
I can show you more. I can show you across Europe. I can show you anywhere else, just to prove that this is not luck. All they did was follow the same system. So this didn't come down to like them all having the same setup or anything, because as you can see, chiropractic, osteopathy, physical therapy, it's all different mixtures. We had new clinics set up versus more established clinics versus bigger teams versus smaller teams. They're all different teams, all different locations, all different markets, but it's the same outcome each time. And that's what we want. Clinics consistently filled, predictable new patient flow, and ultimately no agency dependency. So it's just one simple system, one structure, different clinics, different countries, same structure. That's it. By doing that, then you have a repeatable system. And then you can get results like what Chase got, where every time he turns his ads on, he fills his clinic. Now that's an ideal situation for a lot of people. And ultimately it is, but it's just having a system, a structure in place, which is what most people don't do, because they either force it out to a marketing agency and they've got no idea what is going on, and which is literally giving over the blood supply, the lifeline of your business. Because if you hand it over to an agency and the agency goes out of business, the agency loses interest in what you do. Or typically, most people will experience this after 3 or 4 months, the agency's results fall off a cliff. Maybe they got a new client, a bigger client, whatever it is. Whereas you need to control this. You need to not be dependent upon other people. So let's work out why this isn't luck. Because luck doesn't repeat, but systems do. Once you've got systems in place, you can do that whether you're opening up a brand new clinic in a different part of town or doing a different country completely. It's having the systems which work wherever you are. That is what is going to fill. Because all 3 clinics applied the same principle. We focus on one ad with one clear problem. That's it. By doing this, you're just helping people feel understood rather than what a lot of clinics do, which is just shout about all the issues people are dealing with. Then we have one simple offer, which differentiates you from everyone else running the same type of offer. And then one simple follow-up process. That's it. Not anything complicated. You're not completely changing the world or anything like that with this. It's just simplicity. Simplicity scales, fancy fails. But it's just knowing these core ideologies about this on how you're going to get an old prospect to take action. No complicated funnels, no guessing. It's a strategic thing that you know every single week what is going to be happening to be able to fill your clinic. But most clinics go wrong with this, and it's not that they are any worse as clinicians or they are doing anything completely wrong at all. It's that they do a few key areas, which is why the results end up not getting where they want to go. Most clinics don't fail. Instead, they just guess instead of actually diagnosing. And what I mean by this, a lot of clinics will run ads once or run an ad and it not get the results straight away, even though they have not specified in what result they are actually looking for. By that, what I mean is they may spend $100 on ads and they may only get one person in. But this could just be the first test run and they've not specified how much they would be willing to spend to acquire a customer. Therefore, they just say ads don't work for me. But instead of actually diagnosing what part did or did not work on an ad, because it's a really blanket statement to say ads don't work for me, it's what part does or does not work. And that's what we need to know. After that, then they may think, right, we will try it again, but they try and change too many things at once, which just becomes a headache and you've no idea what does or does not work again. And this is again where it just comes back to knowing the numbers for the clinic. And then they only judge it by the cost per lead. Whereas we've got to look at these other metrics. It's all just about numbers. A lot of people think marketing is just all fluffy for growing a clinic, but it's looking at the numbers and making changes based upon the data that we collect rather than guesswork. Guesswork gets you nowhere, but clear, defined numbers is what we can change. We can change specific parts. Whereas if you just go by the cost per lead, then we're not actually looking at how many people you actually booked, we're not looking at conversion rates, and we're not looking at other key metrics, which could be a leading indicator if the ad or is not working and what part would need to change. And finally, most outsource to agencies without understanding what is going on. Whereas it's key to know, as a practitioner, you probably say this to your clients, that it's good for you to make informed decisions about your health. Whereas it's good for you to make informed decisions about your business because it is the lifeline, potentially, probably the lifeline of your lifestyle as well. It's what pays the bills, it's what pays your mortgage and stuff. So if you are outsourcing the growth, outsourcing how many people come in and pay you, then without actually understanding what they are doing and also the numbers to be looking at, then you're just guessing. You are hoping that they produce. And then when you speak, if that agency does not work, then you go and speak with another agency. What do you ask them about what they're going to do differently? You don't know. And that's why it's crucial to know these metrics and know these numbers, then you can make a change. Because guessing always just feels like ads don't work for my clinic, which is a really common thing. It does, but it's just knowing what part does or does not. It's a really common thing which I hear, and I always say to clinic owners, is what part doesn't work. Was it the hook, the offer, the call to action? Like, name it, and then we can fix that one part rather than just saying this blanket statement. It's like someone coming into your clinic and just saying, physiotherapy is not for me. It just doesn't work for me. This random case just doesn't work. I cannot fix my hamstring, whatever it is. But that's such a blanket statement. So right now, if your clinic is not filling up like you would like it to, it's not because the ads stopped working. It's just because the system isn't installed yet. You need to have the system and understand these key metrics to be able to make a change and to be able to continue with growth. This is all done by growth. So what can you actually do about that? Well, when clinics own the process, ads become predictable because you're in charge and you know what metric to be looking at. You know what things you would need to change each week. Therefore, marketing stops feeling stressful because you've got a clear plan ahead on what you should do and the changes that you need to make. And therefore, growth is no longer random. You can get new team members on board and you can look forward to getting them on board without the worry and hesitation of if you can actually fill their schedule. And once they are on board, are they going to stick around because they're a bit too quiet? Whereas you can start planning this growth when you're going to open up a second, third, fourth clinic because you've got repeatable system. So it stops becoming a gamble and just becomes a simple input that you can do every single time and make changes. Now, this isn't for every clinic. Some clinics just want to continue outsourcing their growth, which is absolutely fine. Like if you want to do that, please continue. If you're still getting great results, if you're happy with that, outsource your growth. That is great. But if you do want control instead of guessing, then this is exactly why I built a school group. In that school group, it's where I show you the step-by-step system that I've taken all of our clinics through. So what I've taken Rich, Chase, and Paul through to fill their clinics through a simple system without outsourcing it to a marketing agency. If you do want to get into that group, click link below. We've got a free trial going on right now, and you can get started in there with the exact same system, and I will walk you through it. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.